بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم رضي الله تعالى عنه وسرد تابعين وعلماء ملينا وآئمة أربع مجتهدين ومقلديهم إلى يوم الدين وبعد. So we'll continue from where we left off in our class on Umdat'l Bayan. We got to the part where the author, he says, Rahimahullah Ta'ala, I almost said I lost my whole point here. So we're on this section now with regards to relieving oneself. And if you look at the sequence, how the book is formulated, it is basically covering everything that is essential, in order. So we covered the beliefs, the soundness of your beliefs, right? And then he gets into the fiqh, the understanding of the mu'amilat, the practices, a lot of the practices, but the fardu ayn specifically in this case. We started off talking about water and the judgments pertaining to water, the three judgments pertaining to water. Then we talked about filth, or those things are objects or things, because things that are considered pure, if we had these things on our clothes, right? So as you see, Islam is set up perfectly from beginning to end, from A to Z, okay? If you had particular things on your clothing, any of the things that we mentioned, and anything after, anything that is similar to it, you will make an analogy to some degree. If a particular thing is considered pure, if it's considered impure, or if it's something that is excused. Now, we'll be discussing relieving oneself. Relieving oneself is also an act of ibadah, right? It's also a method of purifying oneself, utilizing the restroom, the bathroom. It rids the body of toxins and things. Oftentimes we complain as people. We complain about using the bathroom. But however, using the bathroom is good for our system, for our body. It's very important. Think about people who are dialysis patients. They can't naturally relieve the body, to remove toxins from their body themselves naturally. So they rely on, they actually rely on a machine to do it for them. So, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us these natural functions of the body. And with that, they also deserve rulings. So, the author, rahimahullah, on the section of relieving oneself, he said is muni'a, right? It is forbidden to relieve yourself while sitting flat up on the earth. Now, first of all, when we're discussing the issue of using the restroom, remember we're going back and we're starting from a baseline, a basic beginning. Meaning, we're not talking about the porcelain toilets that we sit on today, or any of these things. You're talking about outdoors, when bathrooms were not included as part of the house, but rather you had a designated area or a place to utilize the restroom. This is what we're talking about. So the Sheikh, he says, it is forbidden to relieve oneself while sitting flat on the earth. Okay, because the objective is to relieve oneself from impurities, and from these things that are considered impure, versus getting them on your body. If you sat on the ground and defecated, you'll have poop on your cheeks, right? If you urinated, most of the urine will splash on you. These things are unhealthy and they're not good for you. He said it's forbidden to relieve oneself upon soft earth that is damp from impurities. Why? Because now there's a possibility. It's not guaranteed, but you may have you're utilizing impurity. You're using the bathroom on something that's damp with moisture to it, where it could splash back up on you, right, or splash on your clothing, and so on and so forth. So if you wouldn't go into a cesspool and use the bathroom, right? The next thing he mentioned is it's forbidden to relieve yourself while facing the Qibla or having one's back to it, except inside of a building. Okay, so now this ruling, now you see where it's applicable for us, that our toilet may be facing the direction of the Qibla, right? Or even your back is to the Qibla. Okay, why is it so important about facing the Qibla or your back being towards the Qibla? The Qibla is the direction which we face for prayer. You may have somebody, especially if you're using a bathroom in an open area, right? We're not talking about 4 walls and a roof. Maybe in an open area outside. Okay, men more have a tendency to go to the bathroom outside than women do. So you may be utilizing the bathroom, and someone may later, and it's not going to look or smell like, urine or defecation. Someone may pray on it, and there's a possibility they're making sujood on an area that's wet, right? Now, so in the 4 walls, having the 4 walls inside of a building, then therefore that rule about the direction of the Qibla is separated because there's something between them and it, meaning a wall. He said it's wajib to do istibra of urine, right? It's wajib by freeing, do istibra, freeing oneself of urine. For the male, he would squeeze his penis and then shake it slightly when complete. One should also clean oneself of feces by doing istijmar, right? You use 3 smooth stones or something in its equivalent, all right? So therefore, the permissibility, you can use toilet paper. He said the last one must be completely free of filth. So on the last wipe, you're going to check. Now, he doesn't mention it here in this section. Okay? He doesn't mention it here in this section, but I'll mention it to add in. You have istinja. Istinja is where one cleans the private parts with water. Okay? For the male, he would take, after urinating, he would take and he would wash the penis with water, all right, to rinse it, pour the water on it, wash it, okay? For the male, doing this is mustahab. This is something that is strongly, encouraged, just that ruling that it would take. For women, it is mandatory, it's wajib. For women, they would pour the water on themselves, and when they wipe themselves, they will wipe with your left hand. All cleaning is done with your left hand. Now, the wiping in itself is called istijmar, okay? Istijmar, where you're wiping yourself. The male, his istijmar is normally when he's wiping after finishing defecating. Istijmar for the, when a man is wiping the urethra, the tip of the penis, after urinating, he's wiping one with, tissue or something of that nature to remove any excessive urine. But it's usually covered when you do istinja. Now for the woman, she would do istinja first with the water, right? Whether she's cleaning, her vagina, or whether she's cleaning her anus, her backside. you would do so. And how the woman does a combination of istinja and istijmar. She uses water and she combines it with wiping. How does she do so? She will pour first, right? And she will wipe herself. She will wipe from the front to the back. A woman cannot wipe from the back to the front because whatever it is, she'll end up with some bad UTIs. You know, she'll have defecation, you know, have some poop, you know, going into her vajayjay, you know, into her vagina. So, you know, and that's harmful. The objective of the Sharia is not to harm yourself, right? But so the objective of this is to relieve oneself. So she would wipe from front to the back. She will also utilize water, wipe, utilize water, wipe, utilize water, wipe. The idea is to do with three wipings. And the last one, you're looking for cleanliness, you know, for no stains to be left on whatever it is that you're utilizing to wipe with. And if so, then you will exceed and continue to wipe until the impurity is removed. Istijmar is the same thing, you know, whether, like I said, istijmar is the wiping, istinja is the using of water. Okay? Now, what he mentions is, he goes in, he mentions about permissibility. It is permissible to clean oneself of feces with any pure, clean, dry thing which is not harmful. Okay? So therefore, you know, like I said, toilet paper will fall under this category. Then he mentioned some more characteristics of these things that is not harmful. So the characteristics or the things that is permissible to use, it has to fit these following qualities. Number one, it can't be harmful to you. Number two, it can't be something of value. Number three, it can't be damp, right? So wet wipes would be disqualified for this and other reasons as well. Something that is impure. You can't wipe yourself with something that's already impure. Something smooth, something sharp, okay? Nothing that is food. You can't take and use food to wipe yourself. I don't care whether it's a lamb bone, you know, a piece of T-bone, steak bone. You can't utilize that. Something with writing up on it, right? Now I know, you know, customary. A lot of people can say like, oh, ew, no. But what's customary is most people, when there's no toilet paper, a lot of people use newspaper, right? Something that is gold, something that's silver, you can't use that. You can't use the wall, okay? You can't use dry dung from your animals or their bones, all right? So these things it's permissible to use, but the thing that disqualified their permissibility of using it would be those things that I mentioned. And once again, I'll say them just one more time for the sake of, repeat for those who are writing notes. So you cannot make istijmar when wiping yourself with anything that is harmful, something that is valued, something that is damp, something that is impure, something that is sharp, something that is like made of food stuff, something that has writing up on it, gold or silver. You can't use the wall. You cannot use dry dung of your animal, you know, your riding beast. We don't ride animals no more, so you wouldn't. So put it like this: you wouldn't use motor oil from your car, right? But if we had camels, you wouldn't use dry camel dookie or bones. Okay, when the object is being used, when the object being used can be thoroughly remove all body waste, then it's permissible to use. Okay, like the hand, you can utilize your left hand. Can't just be any hand. Matter of fact, I might put that in parentheses in the translation. It can't be just any hand. It has to be your left hand. A lot of people are still right-handers. We wipe with our left hand from the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He determined that that's what it was. He's the hakim. He's a lawgiver. So him saying that you have to wipe with your left hand is what you have to do. Even if you're even if you're right-handed, you have to learn how to utilize your left hand. Okay? And utilizing less than 3 dry stones. We're going to try to use less than 3, but if you have to use more because of, the impurity isn't removed, then you have to do what you have to do. So with that, we'll stop there, inshallah. We'll make some more notes. And then next week, the next class, we'll start to get into the fara'id in the sunnah of wudu, and those things that make and break wudu. And then we'll have, a little discussion on hadith, which I think we already had this discussion, but we'll have it again on hadith, and those things that are considered khabith, filth. But in this case, with wudu, it'll be hadith and asbab. Those hadith, those things that are ritual impurities that are outside of your control, and then asbab, sabab, those things that will cause your wudu to be broken. So we're moving right along. Alhamdulillah, we're moving along, and so inshallah we'll look forward to seeing everybody, and also in the group, the classrooms is our discussion groups. If any questions or anything like that, direct them there, inshallah, if you're part of the Google Classroom. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك واشهد ان لا اله الا انت واستغفرك واتوب اليك. بارك الله فيكم. السلام عليكم.